Welcome to Be Free and Fit, the show that believes that principles applied through the process bring long-term sustainable progress. I'm your host, Brianna Dawkins, and today's episode is all about the principle of patience. Now, we all know that when it comes to patience, don't nobody like that, okay? But we all know also that patience is really a virtue. It's literally a virtue. I mean, it's the ability to tolerate something for a long time without getting angry or upset. I don't know about you, but that is like very difficult for me. And like, especially when it comes to like a weight loss journey or something like that, like it is so hard. It's so hard being patient. I want to share a story with you guys. This happened to me literally like a couple of days ago, but it got resolved today, actually. So what happened is, this is like a story of a package. So we all know what it feels like to decide that we want something, and then we go looking for it online, and then we find a site that has it online. And so I'll just go ahead and say it, like, we have Amazon here in Florida. In most places you have it, right? Familiar? Yeah, I think everyone's familiar with the Amazon, especially us stay-at-home moms and entrepreneurs. You can have anything you want at a click of a, snap of your finger, it seems like. Especially here in Florida, I'm trying to tell you, like, we live near a distribution center, so it's like you can literally place an order for, like, I don't know, it's not even like groceries or something like that. Like, you can literally like order something like some shoes from Amazon and order them at like 7 in the morning, and they'll be there, between like 5 and 10 p.m. that night. You don't even have to wait one day. You can like get it that evening. So, let me tell you, I was so excited because I was running out of supplements, and I was like, okay, I'm big into supplements. And when I have my mind set on when I'm gonna start this new like layout of supplements, and I have my whole little thing laid out, like it's just something about it. Like, I know exactly what I want to do, and my mind's made up on it. So when I go on a site like Amazon, for example, and I go on there and they're telling me, go ahead and purchase this, because when you purchase it, it's going to be at your house tonight. So for me, I was really excited because I was like, look, this is going to be at my house tonight, and then I'm going to be able to use it tomorrow. But what happened was, it did not come. I ordered it. That package did not come that night. It did not come. So then I'm looking on the site, and it's like telling me, yeah, your package should still be arriving. Like, it's still going to come. It's just running late. So then the next day comes, it still didn't come. I'm like, really? Like, is this really just not going to come? But it's no big deal. So I literally like went like 2 days like that. And then I looked back on the website, and it said like an updated like alert, and it was like you can reschedule your delivery for like the next day. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and do that. Keep in mind, this whole time internally, I won't say that I was angry, but I will say that I was like really feeling like some type of way. Like, I wasn't about to call nobody and like try to go off or nothing, but I was like internally like not okay because because I really like had already made up my mind that like I was going to use those supplements the next day, and now we're 2 days past that day that I was supposed to start using them, and it still wasn't here. I just was not okay. Oh Lord, that is it. That's like what makes patience so difficult. It's even crazier though, because when I think of patience, like the craziest part about it is I feel like we almost have like this imaginary expectation that doesn't get fulfilled. And when that doesn't get fulfilled, then patience almost feels like something that is just not even attainable. Like, What do you mean be patient? Like, be patient for what? Like, I bought something and they told me it would be here. So, what do you mean be patient when I was supposed to have this a long time ago? But I also like had to look back at it and I was like learning from this whole situation because I was like, that idea that I needed to use those supplements that morning was made up. Like, it's not like I needed to like have those supplements because I had a headache, or there was no real like tangible reason as to why I needed it that like quickly. Like, I had almost like made up in my mind a reason why that made sense, or a reason why it needed to hurry up and get there. When really it was like, when it finally came, it was like, oh, it's here. And it actually came today. And it's like, when it came, it was like, oh, so that was the lesson. Like, patience, like, that's still a thing. And that's still something that's needed to be had in life. I mean, I feel like society and like anything that's being so quick, fast, and in a hurry is almost teaching us how to desensitize patience. It's like teaching us how to not think that we need it. And it's like to teach us that like the idea of being patient isn't necessary, even though it's very much so. I feel like when it comes to things like different delivery services that are able to get you a package in by the end of the day, or get you a package by the next day, when you get so caught up in that instant gratification, I feel like it becomes very difficult to get back to real life, where it's like you have somebody else who's sending you a package and it takes the normal like 5 to 7 business days, and you're like, what? I don't even want it anymore. Like, and it's like, really, like, you probably should just, have some patience, because I feel like with having patience, it makes everything else so much easier. But I think the idea of having patience alone is actually what's most difficult. So, at the end of this episode, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that making this idea of being patient a little bit more easier from day to day, at least in reference to what it means to apply this principle to your weight loss journey, or to your journey of being healthier or living healthier. Because let me tell you, when it comes to that, it does require a lot of patience. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to right into why patience is important when it comes to your health and your weight loss goals. So patience is like super important, because anything worth having and building and growing and developing like literally takes time. And like when I think of patience, to me, it's literally like there's where you are right now, and then it's almost like a balance beam. And then it's like at the end of that balance beam is your goal, or it's like what you're trying to reach. And it's like there's so many things that you have to do in that middle ground process. I'll even go back to the example that is kind of like found in the story that I shared with the Amazon package, and that whole situation that I went through. When I think of like that whole scenario is a perfect example of like our weight loss journeys. So with the package and like purchasing the package, like I first made up my mind. I had a decision that I made, and I was like, look, I need to re up on these subs. Like, let me go ahead and order this, find this. I decided in my mind first that that's what I was going to do. And then I submitted my payment. I knew what it was going to cost. I went ahead and submitted that payment. And when I think of this weight loss journey, what I think most about it is I often think like that's what the initial decision is. Like it's an initial decision that you are ready to make this like decision that this is what you want. This is what you want to go after. This is what you're deciding for your life. And the next part after you make that decision, to me, is to count the cost. Like, what is this going to cost you? Like, yes, we all know it's going to take sacrifice, because you have to be so intentional in what you're putting in your body, and you have to be super intentional about when you're moving your body and what kind of physical activity your body is getting from day to day, and so many other factors that go into trying to live a healthier lifestyle, looking at labels, being just like super mindful of so many things from day to day. And all of those are the cost. Like, that's what it costs to live a healthy lifestyle. That's what it costs to reach your weight loss goals. Like, all of that requires a certain level of a cost to do that. But once you submit that payment and you decide in your mind, like, okay, we're about to do this. Okay. Like, this is going to take some serious sacrifice, but I'm ready and this is what I'm going to do. So, like, once your mind is made up, the next thing is the processing phase. Like, after I submitted that payment, look, there's nothing I could do to speed up that package getting to me quicker. Like, there's literally nothing. Like, once that payment was submitted and Amazon sent me that little email that said, look, you purchased the thing, like, now you gotta wait because it's gonna be there. Even though they're quicker in getting it to you, you still gotta wait. Like, there's nothing you can do to speed up the processing time. And I feel like in the same way with your weight loss journey, it's a processing time. Like, there's a time where you are literally in process and there's nothing that you can do to speed it up. Like, nothing you can do to speed it up. You are literally in processing time. The only thing you can do is the same thing that you can do with a package that's coming to your house. They give you a tracking number and you can track and keep monitoring that to see where it's at, but you can't like move it any quicker to your house. And in the same way, that's how it is with your weight loss journey. Like, you cannot push it faster. Like, there's little things that you could try to do, but like nothing can sustainably sustain like massive forward movement like in your weight loss journey. Like, you may be able to like hurry up and get like 3 pounds off one week and then the next week get back to like 1 or 2 pounds lost, but you can't like maintain a like 5 pound weight loss over like the course of a year or something like that. So I feel like when it comes to that, the only thing you can do is monitor it. I mean, that's what a scale is. A scale does that for you. A scale is literally like your tracking number. It's literally like the number that's just kind of telling you where you're at, and it's telling you like it's showing you like it's an opportunity for you to monitor if what you're doing is working. And if it's not, it gives you the opportunity to readjust and figure out another way to reach your goals. So, back to this whole situation, like, I think when it comes to the package, the only thing that is between you receiving that package that you just paid for and you decided that that's what you were going to get, the only thing that's between that happening and you receiving that package is time. Like, literally, the only thing that is between you and that package is time. And in the same way, like with weight loss and with trying to live a healthy lifestyle, the only thing between you and your goal is time. And this is like speaking to my heart, soul, and mind like right now, because I have to receive that for myself. Like, I too am on this journey with you, and I feel like I'm so used to helping people when I've already figured it out and when I've already like been on the like other side of the tunnel, like of the light, and you're like in the light on the other side of the tunnel already. And then you're helping people with their goals because you've already figured out how to make it through. But I feel like right now I'm like literally in the tunnel and I'm like, all right, let's get it. Okay. Let's just get it. I'm like, I'm going through this tunnel, and while I'm in the tunnel, I feel like I'm like putting on a flashlight and I'm looking around at like all the details of the tunnel while I'm walking through it. And I'm really like trying to be the one to share every little thing that I'm seeing with that flashlight along the way through the tunnel, so that when we make it to the other side together and we're in the light, there's way more people who know all of these things that we learned together. So, yeah. I don't know how I got there, but let's get back on topic and on task, okay? So when it comes to like patience, like I said, it's all about time. It's like it literally takes time. So if you're trying to run a 5K, it takes time to build that endurance and consistency in the efforts that will give you that goal. Same with the strength training. If you're trying to gain muscle or strength, it takes time and you have to be patient in order to commit long enough to the process to see what you're trying to see. Okay. So we've all heard the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day. That is by John Haywood. But as I was doing some research, the way that the quote actually ends is it says, Rome wasn't built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour. Every hour. Do you hear me? Every hour. This sounds just like a weight loss journey to me. Like me and my husband talk about this like all the time because we're both on this journey together. I mean, I'm trying to tell you when listen, hubbies out there, when women carry these babies, these men out here be carrying them too, okay? And so we both put on weight and we both are like, all right, it's about time to get it off now. It's been a good, Micah's almost two. So we're like, all right, we're settling in where we are now and we're like, it's time. But we are talking about this process and we've been through this process a lot together. Like in terms of losing weight together, gaining weight together, losing weight together, like a lot of weight together. And now we're in that process kind of like all over again. But this time we're like, okay, this is like no joke. I mean, we're literally like maybe not laying bricks every hour, but like I feel like every hour we're at least monitoring something. Like, I mean, you have to monitor if you're drinking enough water, you have to monitor if you are, being mindful of what you're putting in your body because let you eat too many calories in a day, especially as you get older and your metabolism that's shifting and changing and evolving like naturally. Like, and there's nothing you can do about it doing that. While your body's going through all of that change, let you eat one little morsel over the calories you should, and I promise you, at least for me, I'll gain if I'm not being mindful of what I'm putting in my body. And it's like so like crazy because it's like something as simple as like a couple of tortilla chips that like I didn't pay attention to the fact that 7 chips is one serving and I literally just filled my plate and like put cheese on it and made a nacho. Like healthy living can be a little bit stressful, okay? It really can, but I'm trying to stay the course and enjoy the journey along the way, and I feel like if you do the same, I think that we will come out different on the other side. And so, listen, it is very difficult to be challenging your body every week, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times a week and watching everything that's going inside of your body and all of that to lose a healthy, sustainable weight loss of like 1 to 2 pounds at the end of the week. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. I get like so stressed because it's like that is like I know that that's the healthy weight loss. I know that I want to try to maintain as much muscle and strength as possible while you're releasing body fat. But it still doesn't make it easy when we live in a world that is constantly telling us that we are supposed to want stuff quick. Like, it's literally why the fitness industry is like a 66 something point billion something million something. Okay, it's one of those. It's like a huge amount of money that's going into the fitness industry because a lot of these places and spaces are like prowling on people who don't want to be patient and can't be patient and are looking for all of the ways to basically bypass patience. And the crazy thing is if you are patient, you will receive every bit of what you're desiring to have in this life and in your health and in your weight loss journey. Like, you will reach it. But it's like, I don't think there's enough people saying that. Like, you are going to reach it, but it will take time and it will probably be annoying. And there will be times that you don't want to do it. And there will be times that you're frustrated. And there will be times that you're not going to be excited to do it. And there are going to be times that you just really don't want to. But if you keep going and if you are consistent in the efforts that are beneficial to the process and to the journey, you will see change and you will get closer and closer to your goal as time progresses. I think that the great thing about time is it is on our side. Like, time cannot stop, time also cannot go backwards. So if the only thing between us and our goal is patience and time, then we're really on the right side of things. Like, we're really on the like right path of everything that we need to do to get closer to that goal. We just got to keep going. And I think we give up before we get there because we have already made up in our minds that we aren't going to make it, or that we can't make it, or whatever the case may be, or that it's taking too long because we've trained ourselves by everything around us and in society to not want to wait. And we are literally on social media looking at people who are like showing transformations that may have happened over 6 months or a year, but it's like in a snapshot. So it makes you feel like, wow, I want to be able to do that, which you can feel like motivated and encouraged by that. But some people don't see that as encouragement. They see that as like a discouragement. And then it's like, oh, well, why should I even try? Because I don't even know the tools or what to do or how to work out or what to eat. And then some of that stuff can feel so overwhelming that you just give up. But that's not the answer, because the only thing literally is patience and time. As long as you're doing everything that you can do, which will continue to break down the things that you can do that are helpful to you on your journey. But as long as you're doing that, that's all you can do. And be patient. You can be patient. That's another thing you can do. Okay, so a little bit about me. Like, I've never been on this type of journey where I had to learn, like, lose this much. Like, y'all, let me tell you, I have been, like I said, me and my husband have done this before. This is not like our first rodeo of losing weight, but this is my first rodeo of trying to lose this much weight. Okay, after having 2 kids, my body was like, let's put on all the pounds. Okay, so really, I'm trying to get down like 80 to even maybe 100, like between there in pounds. Okay, so when I looked at that and I decided that in my mind that's what was going to happen, I knew that it was going to require a whole nother way of thinking, because it's one thing when you're like 30 pounds from your goal, and even that's hard. I think it's harder if it's more, and if you've lost some then gained it back, lost some gained it back. Like, the last 2 years was a lot of that. And so a lot of the places and weights that me and my husband are at right now, we've already seen. Like, we've, went down and then went back up and then went down and went back up. And I think the difference now is that I'm trying my hardest to focus on my habits every day and not be so concerned about the scale. I do check it for monitoring purposes, similar to the package situation that we talked about earlier. I do monitor myself to know if what I'm doing is working or if it's okay. I also monitor myself because, like I said, when it comes to my body, I can eat something, and I'm 30 now. And a little bit later in this episode, we'll also discuss like metabolism and how it evolves and changes as you get older. So, with me being 30, I'm now starting to also understand how my body has been evolving and I feel like I may have overlooked it because I also had kids around the same time frame that our bodies start to evolve and change, and the calories that burn naturally and like do all of this extra work for us just kind of stop. So when we start, when we continue to eat the way that we were prior without realizing that we have to be even more mindful as we get older, um, that's how that can happen. And I think that's could be what's happening to a lot of people if you're not aware of it. So just be mindful of that as you're on your journey as well. Um, so yeah, this is like the super exciting part of our show because we're basically gonna go into now how being patient will help everything, be smoother and easier for us in our life. But sometimes we don't know like what to do to even like, make it easier from day to day. Like I guess one way is this is not part of the 3 ways to assist you in being patient, but it is just like an extra little sidebar. I think that when it comes to patience, um, I think one of the first things that we can do is just accept that patience is not fun. I think that we have to accept that patience is something that's going to require us to like be okay with. Like we have to be completely okay with the idea that that's what we're choosing. Like we're choosing to be patient. It's not something that we're being forced to do, but we are choosing to be patient. Even if we don't want to, we're choosing to be patient because really there's no other option. There's really just no other option. Okay, so the 3 ways to assist you in patience. Number 1, affirm yourself. So the affirmations of patience dropped last week, I believe. So you really need to like get up on that if you haven't. And if you have, continue. I think that when it comes to affirmations, it's great to do them every day if it's something that you really struggle with. I personally created the affirmations part of this podcast for me. Okay, I needed them, and I feel like I always tried to create space in my life for affirmations because I always heard how important they were and how beneficial they can be to your life and in reprogramming your mind to think more positively, especially for people who self sabotage mentally or just like have like a negative moments where they think negatively even about themselves or others. So I feel like when it comes to affirmations, it gives you an opportunity to literally meditate on a whole nother way of thinking and a whole nother way to view life or a situation. So, with our podcast, part of, we're not podcast, with our affirmations, I think that it's really important for us to take those affirmations and apply them to our life so that we can reaffirm ourselves in the reality that it's okay for stuff to take time. Like, it's really okay. It's really, really okay. I feel like the world does not let us accept that it's okay. But I think it's okay for us to reaffirm ourselves that it really is. It really is okay. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into the 3 ways to assist you in patience. Number 1, affirm yourself. So constantly remind yourself of your ability to like wait. Like it's completely normal in a world that is like constantly throwing in our face every single day the idea of like instant gratification and the idea that we need to have it now. Like I get it. I prefer packages quick too, okay? I do. But I think that that is not a healthy way to live, only because it like omits patience. It like takes away the idea that it's needed. And it is like anything else in life takes time. So I think that for a lot of us mentally, we're struggling with like normal stuff and like just living healthy. For example, that shouldn't be so difficult. That is a little bit more difficult, I think, because we're so wired to want stuff quick. I think that that's why some people struggle with wanting to cook, because it takes a lot of effort. Like, it takes a lot of effort to, plan out what you're going to cook, then go get the groceries, then prep the food, then cook the food, then eat the food that you cook, then start all over again. And so, like, that whole process is like not something that a lot of people want to do, because it requires a lot of patience to figure that stuff out. Same with working out, like, and seeing results from your efforts and eating clean and working out. It's very difficult to stay the course. But I think that if we can continue to affirm ourselves in the process, we will continue to rewire the way that we are thinking about patience, and rewire the way that we see and view the idea of waiting. Like, it's okay to wait. And I think that we just have to get back to that. So I do have an affirmations podcast for patience that is on the episodes page of BeFreeAndFit.com. Or you can go onto the podcast at Apple Podcast or Spotify. But either place that you find it, start listening to those. Do them while you're, doing your workout, or doing your cool down while you're stretching. Go through them, while you're driving your kid to school. That's what I do. Like, I literally created the affirmations part of the podcast for myself. Like, and I like share it with you all because I believe that I'm not the only one that struggles with these different areas. And I truly believe that if we apply these principles to our life, that they couldn't be one of the keys, if not a key, to unlocking long-term sustainable progress, literally. So I think that if we go ahead and take patience and start affirming our mind and shifting and rewiring the thoughts in our heart and in our mind that believe that we don't need to wait, or that it's not good to wait, I think that it's good if we can try to change the narrative and change the thought processes in our mind that cause us to believe that we shouldn't wait when we should wait, because it's a normal thing in life. And so that's one thing that I believe that you can do. And the first thing is that affirming yourself. If you don't know how to apply that, you can go to the podcast that talks about affirmations that are specifically for patients. So go ahead and see that, check that out, do that, and then let me know what you think. Okay, put it in the the reviews. Like, give us reviews and let us know how the affirmations are helping you. All right, guys. So number 2, refocus. So refocus on the things that you can do. Like I said, when it comes to you waiting for a package, the only thing you can do is really kind of monitor where it's at and monitor like where it's going. Okay. It's the same with like your weight loss journey. The only thing you can really do is monitor where you are right now, monitor whatever you're putting in your body and whatever you're doing to expend those calories, such as moving your body, working out. Are those things working? So you monitor yourself by a scale. Some people don't like scales. So if you don't like scales, that's fine. And I understand, because your worth is not wrapped in a number on a scale. So I do want to make sure I say that, because we are talking about monitoring ourselves and our progress. I want to make it clear that your worth is not wrapped in the scale. So, just know that and embrace that because it's true. Um, I think it's fine to use the scale to monitor where you are and what's working, what's not working. But I don't think it's okay for you to attach your worth to whatever that is. I've done that for many years. And the hard part and the downside to doing that is when you end up getting smaller, you can find yourself in a place where you feel like you're still not small enough, no matter how small you get. And I don't want that to happen. So don't use the scale as like I'm more valuable because my weight is going down. Like, no, your weight's gonna go down because you're focusing on what you can do and you're doing that and you're consistently doing that. So yes, it will go down, but we're not like more valuable because it went down. So just like let that soak in. Okay, now now we'll go into number 3. Okay. So number 3 is to keep in mind that anything that is requiring your patience is going to take the same energy, if not more, to maintain it when you get there. So what you can do right now to make life easier for you right now, it'll make it easier to live that way. I think the idea that as long as you can get to your goal, you'll do whatever massive, quick, like outrageous thing to get you there. I don't think that's living a life of freedom and like fit. Like it's not, because what happens is it's not maintainable. But if you can approach this journey in a whole new way where you're able to actually enjoy your foods and try new things and experience new like tastes like and flavors and all of that, like if you can like really just embrace this journey and say, wow, this is a journey that I get to like experience and like find fun ways to experience it. Like one thing that we do in our house is my mother-in-law lives with us and we try like different fruits. So like every morning for breakfast, like we have fruit and we'll have like other things too. Like sometimes like we'll have like eggs and like different stuff like that. But for sure, if we don't have anything else, like we always have fruit. And so like we've been trying like new fruits like every day consistently, like having like papaya with like pears and like with grapes and with strawberries, or we'll have it with like some dragon fruit with I don't know, like cantaloupe and papaya and like pineapple. Like we just really like mix it up and like try new things. And to me, that's been making like life so much more enjoyable. Like when it comes to eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. And the crazy thing is, I'm still going down on the scale, even though I'm not like obsessing over calories in versus calories out and all of that. And I think that that is sustainable. Like that is looking at this whole process for the long haul and not for however long it takes to get to my goal. Because my goal should be not just to get there, but it should be to also maintain that for the rest of my life. And with that mindset, it hopefully starts to make you think bigger than just now. And so that you're able to embrace the journey more. Like another thing that you can do too is every week, like try a different recipe like once every week. Like, because I think that recipes can get really expensive if you're trying to do that like every day and you don't have like it actually planned out. But I think that trying like a new recipe like once a week, like even if it's like a Friday night family type thing or like a Saturday morning breakfast, like, for like the first couple months of the year, you do that. And then like other, days you do like Friday night. Like, I don't know, like, I think mixing that up like that also makes it fun. And it gives you an opportunity to expose your palate, your taste buds to new foods and new recipes and new flavor combos. I feel like when my husband and I went to Maldives, we realized that like wow, like there's so many other like cultural foods around the world because they had like a lot of different like cultures of foods to try. And we tried them and we're like, wow, like that's like even the reason why we still eat dragon fruit now and still eat, papaya now. Like that's like what we had every day for breakfast there. And so we just took that back here with us. And look, I just think that it makes a huge difference when it comes to trying to live a healthier lifestyle if you already kind of like have some of that stuff in alignment. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the three tips of how you can use patience a little bit easier. On top of the three steps that I just shared, I also want to conclude in saying that the easiest like part to be patient, or the easiest, I won't say the easiest part, but the easiest way to be patient for me that I've realized is I almost like have to get distracted by the waiting. So like become so busy with learning more about yourself, become so busy with understanding what you like, what you don't like. And that's in reference to food and fitness. Like, what fitness classes don't you like, or what fitness exercises don't you like, or what are the harder workouts to do, or what are the easier ones to do, or I don't know, like, what do you like to eat? What way does your body work? Like, does your body, like crave a lot of sugar in the morning? Does your body crave a lot of sugar at night? Like, I think that if you can become so immersed in learning about you in the journey that it distracts you from the actual journey, then I think that it allows you to get further faster. And not in the sense of it speeds up the process, but I think that you're not so like stuck on just what it feels like and how you're not there yet. I think of it the same way, like for people who've ever tried like going on an elliptical or like treadmill, and whoever has ever tried it, a lot of people say that like if you just cover it up, like either if you had a book and like cover the like where it tells you like how fast you've gone or how far you've gone, your distance and stuff, like if you take that off the screen, people always say like it goes so much faster. Like it's like, it goes so much faster if you just don't even see like the distance that you've gone or that you're going, or all of that. Like if you can't see that you've done like 0.27 miles, then it'll go quicker. And I like truly believe that that's like what it's like with like being patient and getting to your goal. Like if you stay so like distracted, or if your focus is somewhere else, and that somewhere else being on you and learning all that is needed to sustain the progress that you make. I think that also learning not just you, but also learning, a lot of facts. Like there's so much about you that you can learn through Google. I mean, through YouTube too. Like you can learn about, I don't know, the human body and how it works, and why do you crave this at this time or that at that time. Like so much that you could learn, and you just have to want to learn it and not get so focused, not be so focused on how you're not at your place yet. It's just like watching that meter, and you're on the elliptical and you're running and you're running and you're running, and you're like, why am I only going point one so slowly? I'm going as fast as I can. And as you're doing it, it's like going so slow because you're watching the little, what is that, like the little like numbers thing, and it's like obviously it's gonna go really slow because you're watching it, but as soon as you stop watching it, it goes fast. And I think that that same like concept will happen in your weight loss journey too. All right, guys, so this was good. This was really good. So I hope that this episode was super helpful for you. If you would like more information, please go to befreeandfit.com. Check out the blog. It'll be all about patience and all things patience. We've got about like 2 weeks or 1 week left, I believe, in the BD challenge, which is like the Build Discipline challenge. It's like a 21-day one. We have I think it's about a week left. And if you missed the start of it, jump right in, finish this week strong. And then I'm actually going to start another challenge shortly after this one concludes. That's going to be another 21-day that you can join and jump on in as well. That's going to be kind of like a norm for us. So anyone who tunes in, you'll be fully familiar with the idea of us doing these 21-day challenges. So yeah, if you want to see more of us, follow us on Instagram at Be Free and Fit Podcast. That is Be Free and Fit Podcast. Also, you can check out our affirmations on patience. They are in our episodes on BeFreeAndFit.com, or you can see them on the podcast, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. So yeah, you can check those out. Also check out the affirmations on courage. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in today. Y'all, I am tired. I don't ever really record at night. I'm a morning person, but we switched it up on the switch up, because when you are a parent, you got to do what you got to do when you can do it, okay? And that's what's happening right now, okay? We are getting it done. But it's different. It's very different. I didn't drink any coffee, but that's how this is fueling to me, okay? I'm loving it here. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. But oh yeah, I almost forgot. One more thing, guys. One more thing. Please promise me this. Like, promise me like one thing. Like, promise me one thing. Promise me that you're not gonna give up, right? Don't give up. Please, 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 please. Please don't give up. Please. That's the one thing. Just don't give up. Okay?